yogis here at the YMCA of Central Kentucky. And we're going to work on standing balances today. It would be really helpful if you have a solid surface available, like a chair or even a wall to press against. You might never need to use it, but especially if you're new to a yoga practice or you're new to balances, you might want to have these tools available. It can also be really helpful to have at least one brick. 2 is even better, because we'll be doing some standing balances and you might want a brick. When we're doing standing balances, we're standing. So it's a good idea to start standing into our tallest tall. Feel your feet nestling firmly into the ground and feel your body lifting up and expanding into the space around you. Let your shoulders roll back so your sternum is lifted and your ear, shoulder, hips, and heels are in a straight line. Many of the poses we're going to do today, you could do with your back to a wall. Not just a free-floating chair, but if your chair was pressed up against a wall so it doesn't slide, you could consider that as well. So as we stand up nice and tall, let's take a moment to settle the mind's attention. You could let your eyes close completely or just let your gaze relax. Let's feel the breath as it goes out and in through the nose. And as you exhale, you feel the air release. At the very bottom, feel your navel draw in and up just a little, engaging the very deep muscles of the lower body. This will also help with balance because we're engaging all of these strong muscles of the pelvis and the legs. Deep inhale, filling the whole body with air, creating a sense of lightness and buoyancy. So the breath helps us find that happy middle between stability and buoyancy so that we can float in our balances. So the next time we inhale, let's let the eyes focus again. And as we exhale, shrug the shoulders down. And we're going to begin with a simple balance, rocking up onto the balls of the feet. So with all balances, find something to look at that's maybe 4 or 5 feet in front of you, something that doesn't move. And let your vision rest on that spot. And as we inhale, let's rock up onto the balls of the feet and reach the arms just halfway up. And then as we exhale, let's rock back down like you're rolling down the soles of the feet. So let's do this a few times. Inhale, rocking up. Exhaling, rocking down. You can always do this with one hand on a chair and one hand coming out. Trying to rock as high onto your heels as you can, off your heels as you can. And also find the nice smooth rhythm. Now if you feel good here, you could make it a little bit bigger by bringing both arms up overhead and then sweeping the arms out and down. Again, a smooth timing to lift, a smooth timing to lower. And again, you could have one hand on the chair as you lift up and reach down. Or you could have one hand on the wall as you reach up and down. So let's do one more round. If you need to take little mincing steps, that's okay. So this time we're going to roll up and we're going to sustain. So you could have your hands halfway or all the way, finding that focus point, and inhale and lift and sustain. Reach up. That will help. Extend your fingers to touch your ceiling. Feel your heart lifting. One more deep inhale, and then as you exhale, relaxing the hands down all the way. And let's do one big circle, just keeping your feet flat and releasing the arms out and down. Now we're going to do a similar flow. We're going to rock up onto the balls of the feet. But this time, instead of keeping the legs straight, we're going to bend the knees. So your head and your torso stay about the same place in space. And our arms are going to come up halfway. So this is a balancing chair. So as we inhale, keeping your hips where they are, bend the knees, rock up onto your balls of your feet, reach the hands halfway out, and then as you exhale, rock back down. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, rock down. And a few more rounds. You may find this easier or more challenging than the raised standing that we just did. So one more round, moving back and forth. And now this time we're going to sustain. So inhale and sustain, balanced chair. Feel your shoulders shrug down, lifting your heels as high as you can. Don't stop breathing. One more inhale. And then as we exhale, let's rock it back down and return to standing. Very good, very good. So now we're going to do one leg at a time standing balances. And so we're going to start by standing on the right leg and having the chair on the right side. So set yourself up if you want to use a chair. And then when you're ready, we're going to stand right and lift that left knee straight up. Standing tall, don't lean back, don't lean forward. Stand nice and tall. This is something you could train yourself flat against a wall. So one more inhale here, and then when you're ready, releasing that left leg down. We're going to stand left, and we're going to lift right. If you don't have your hand on the chair, you could have your hands on your hips. You could have your hands floating free. You could have your hands at your heart. One more inhale. And then as we exhale, let's lower that foot. So let's stand right once again. And we're going to do the same thing and add on. So as you inhale, lift left. Standing tall, shoulders back and down. If you're good here and you want more, you could extend that left leg straight out, trying to keep your legs horizontal. If your leg significantly drops, that would be okay, but you're better off lifting your knee higher and working with leg strength. And then that extension will come. So one more inhale. If you're extended, the next time we exhale, let's bring that foot in and then stand tall. Let's try that for the other side. Let's stand right. Inhale. Stand left. Inhale, lift right. And again, you have options. You could stay here, use a chair or not, hands to your heart or not, leg extended or not. So you always have options. And you may discover that one side is easier than the other. That's very common. So one more inhale. And then as we exhale, let's bring that knee back in and lower that foot down. Very good. Maybe we should shift our hips a little from side to side or make some hip circles. If you feel like your hips are getting a little tight. Very good. So we're going to do a half stance moving towards a pelican here. You have options. If you are using a chair, you could face the chair. or you could put your hand on the wall. So you'd be facing the wall or the chair about fingertips distance. You don't have to use the chair or the wall. So when you're ready, this time, let's stand right, and we're going to bring the left foot up behind us and take a hold of the foot. Now, if you can't reach your foot, you could take a hold of a piece of clothing, or you could just practice matching your knees as you stand in a half stance. If you're feeling good here and you want more, you could extend that right arm up overhead. And you could hang out here, feeling your heart lift and the shoulders shrug down. If you want more, you could move towards the pelican, pressing your bent knee back, pressing your foot into your hand to open the line and reaching forward with your heart. If you're at a wall, your hand could press into the wall, or you could use the chair. And I like to use either one because that gives me more option to really stretch the leg and the arm for the balance. And this is the same shape in the upper body and the torso as doing a bow would be on the floor. So one more inhale. As we exhale, let's begin to bring ourselves back up. If your arm is extended, lift it up, return to that half stance, and then time it out so your hand comes down and your foot comes down about the same time. So we can also move with strength and grace. Excellent. Let's try that on the other side. I'm going to turn the chair around. So we'll stand left, and let's lift right. Matching up your knees. For some of us, this might be enough. Shrug your shoulder back, stand tall. Hand could be at the hip, or on the chair, or on the wall. Whatever works for you. If you're feeling good and you want more, you can extend that left arm up. Extended half stance. If you're feeling good and you want more, you could extend forward. I'm going to need to use the chair because this is my weak side. So press your foot into your hand, hold on to the chair, hold on to the wall, extend in space. You have all kinds of options. Press your foot into your hand, open the spine. Very good. So when you're ready to release, let's move back the way we came, coming upright into your extended half stance, and then releasing both hands to come gracefully into standing. Very good. That's really hard work. That's really hard. It's helpful, though, to practice both the extension and the balance together because we move the body in opposite directions, and that can really help to expand our sense of space. Excellent. Very good. So now we're going to begin to move into some standing balances like T-balance, crescent moon, has lots of names. If you have a chair, turn the chair to face you so the seat is accessible. You might not need to use the seat, but it's a good option if you don't have bricks. If you do have bricks, then you're going to want to bring the bricks under your shoulders. And I'll show both of these variations. So let's start standing nice and tall. Let's shrug our shoulders back again. And as we inhale, let's reach the arms out and up, extending our standing balance, and exhale, hinging forward, lengthening the spine, coming into our forward bend.
As we inhale, let's lengthen from the torso, from the base of the torso, lengthen your torso, coming into the flattest back you can find. And let's bring the hands forward under the shoulders. So they could be on the mat, they could be on bricks. If this is still too short or you don't feel stable with your hands on bricks, you could always bring your hands to the chair seat, either flat on the seat or wrapping around the sides of the chair. Wherever you're at, you want to be in a nice boxy shape. Straight arms, straight legs, straight spine. So let's begin by leaning into the left foot, and let's float the right leg straight back behind us. Let your right hip drop a little bit so you're feeling your inner thighs squeeze together right there at the top. And if you have a mirror, or you can see yourself, you would see that your hips are nice and flat. So from here, let's begin to rotate the hips open. So your hips are stacked one on top of the other, moving towards your side T. You could keep this right hand down, or you could begin to gently float it. Maybe it comes up to your hip. Maybe it reaches up overhead. Your vision could be down, or it could be straight out, or it could lift up towards your hand. Whatever works best for you for your balance. When you're ready to release, let this upper hand sweep down and return to your surface, the brick, the chair seat, or the floor, and rotate your hips so they're flat towards the floor. And then let's release the floating leg down. Very good. Let's try that on the other side. So from your nice long spine, you may want to try shifting the bricks higher, or perhaps stacking the bricks if you need more stability, or even trying it out on the chair seat. So as we exhale, let's lean into the right leg and let's stretch the left leg straight back. And the tendency is going to be for that hip to roll open. So let's feel that left hip drop down a little. So your hips are flat and that back leg is lifting straight up and out. Now from here, we're going to go to that side T. So lean into your right hand and begin to roll your hips open. You can keep both hands grounded, or maybe you start to float your left hand. Roll it around. Maybe that hand comes to your hip. Maybe it comes up overhead. If you have a flat wall available, you could do this posture with your back to the wall, so you can really feel how flat this posture truly is. It's like you have your back to the wall and everything is in straight lines. Your shoulders are stacked, your hips are stacked, and everything is very square. So one more inhale. And then as we exhale, if you got a lifted hand, let's begin to release it down. Return to your extended monkey with your hands on the surface and your hips balanced. And then release that leg down. And let's pause in a regular old forward bend. So with your next inhale, let's round the spine and roll it up. And let's reach those arms out and up, upward salute. And as we exhale, let's reach the hands down. So let's do another balancing pose here with the rotation. So we're going to do the rotated T balance. And so similar to how we started before. And I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see, standing facing your chair, your bricks, whatever tool is going to help you out. And as we inhale, let's reach the arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward, and finding a place where your back is flat, your shoulders are above your wrists, and your hips are above your ankles. Now this time, we're going to lean right, and we're going to lift left. We just did this. But because we're doing the twist, we're starting this side. Let your hip rock down. Feel that left hip feeling thick and heavy. And now we're going to lean into the left hand and begin to turn your navel to point over your standing leg. And your hand could stay low, or you could even tilt your brick up higher. You could bring your right hand to your hip, and eventually your right arm comes up overhead, and your shoulders stack. Finding something to plant your gaze upon. Don't stop breathing. And then as we exhale, let's take that lifted hand and replace it. Unwind your twist, and let's let this floating foot come down. So let's offer this to the other side. Let's stand left, let's float right, and let's let those hips reach down and squeeze the inner thighs together. Lean right, and then let's let the left arm float up. Maybe it barely floats. Maybe it comes to your hip. Maybe the arm comes up overhead. Maybe you're stronger or more flexible on one side and then the other. That's why we do both sides. It's not good and it's not bad. It's just knowing where we're strong and where we're less strong. So one more inhale. As we exhale, let's release your floating hand back down. Square out your shoulders and your hips, and then let that floating foot come down. And let's pause in the forward bend. And then the next time we inhale, let's soften the knees, round the spine, and roll up, and shrug the shoulders back and down. As you practice this and you get stronger, you can do both of those on one side at the same time. Opening into the T-balance, and then releasing, opening into the rotation, releasing, and opening into the T-balance again. And one day that'll sound like a lot of fun, but it might not be today. So let's do one more standing balance here, and we'll move on. So as we exhale, shrug the shoulders down. We're going to start the same way we did. Let's reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward bend. And bring your hands to whatever surface you want, the mat, the bricks, or the chair. Coming into your long back, your squared off body. So let's lean left and let's reach right. And this time, we'll start with our extended monkey. Let your hips rest. And now we're going to deepen this forward bend. So bend your elbows, float your lifted foot higher, reaching that lifted foot up as high as it'll go, moving towards standing splits, or crane is what it's sometimes called. Eventually, your left hand would reach behind your leg to draw your torso all the way down. So when you're ready to release, slowly lower your leg all the way to the floor and pause in the forward bend. Let's try that on the other side. Stand right, float your left leg, And then when you're ready, bending your elbows, deepening your forward bend, fly that left leg high. Reaching your torso as close to your standing leg as you can. And again, eventually maybe your hand comes behind your leg to draw you further down. One more exhale. And then as we inhale, return to your extended monkey and lower that leg. And let's pause once more in the forward bend. So one more exhale here. As we inhale, let's do another balance. Let's add a chair, a regular chair. So lean back, bend your knees like you're sitting on a stool, and let's lift the heart and reach the arms up. So your fingers are reaching up, but your bottom is sitting down. Shoulders are back and down. Imagine you're holding a really big beach ball. One more exhale. And then as we inhale, let's dive up. And exhale, plain old stand. Very good. We're going to do one more set of standing poses. We're going to do a tree. So if you're using a chair, turn the chair again so the back of the chair is nearby. If you're at the wall, then again, you want to stand so that a hand can rest against the wall. We're going to start standing left and lifting right. So we've lifted the knee forward, we've lifted the knee back. Now we're going to lift the knee out to the side. So as you stand tall, rotate that right knee as far out to the side as you can and float that foot. You have options. Your foot could rest low, or your foot could rest high. Eventually, it's going to come all the way into the groin. My body doesn't like to do that, so I'm going to keep my foot down. Because it's a standing balance, you always have options. You can hold on, you could let go. You could let both arms come up overhead. Your palms could spread wide, like the branches of a tree, or your palms could come together. They're all totally valid options. You could also bring your hands down to your heart in salutation. So one more inhale, whichever variation you like. And then when you're ready to release, let your hands rest down. Turn your knee forward and stand. Very good. Now, if you're at a wall or on the chair, you may need to turn or move the chair around. So take a moment to set yourself up for this side. And we'll stand right, standing up tall. Let's turn that left knee to point out and then float that foot and place it wherever it works best on your body. Best not to press directly into the knee joint. So below the knee or above the knee. You always have options. Shoulders back as we're standing tall. Hands could be released down. If you want, you could lift your hands up overhead. They could be wide open, the palms together. Or you could bring your hands down to the heart. One more deep inhale. And then as we exhale, let's release the hands down and release that foot. Very good. Very good. So let's pause for a moment and just bring some mobility to both hips. And now we're going to move ourselves down towards the mat. You won't need your chair anymore. So from here, let's stand up nice and tall. And as we inhale, let's reach the arms out and up. Exhale, forward bend. Earth touch. Now from here, we're going to come into a toe balance. So one more time, we're going to rock up onto the balls of the feet, bending the knees deeply this time, and sitting on the heels. You can keep your hands on the floor. You could put your hands on bricks if they're handy, or you could sit up and balance completely. Feeling your knees reaching together. Feel how strong your ankles can become. And then the next time we exhale, let's release the hands back down. And we're going to come down onto our bottoms. So you have options. If your bottom is really close to the ground, you may be able to just lean back. If that's not an option for you, you could come forward onto your knees and then sweep your legs around. So you always have options. Now, we're going to finish our standing balances with a sitting balance. So we're still going to be using our hips for this, and our feet and our legs, but we're going to change the dynamic just a little bit. So as we sit, let's sit up nice and tall and bring your feet in comfortably with your knees bent. I'm going to turn sideways. So as we sit up tall, feel your knees and your chest reaching inward, and let's tippy-toe our feet back, lift your heart, shrug your shoulders, and balance on your bottom. You can stay here, keeping the shoulders down, keeping the heart lifted. If you want more of a challenge, you could let go. Or you could keep your hands on and you could lift your feet halfway or all the way. Or you could do both. Straight legs, released arms. Keep your heart lifted. Feel this balance. One more exhale. And then as we inhale, let's keep the balance as we hug the knees in. And exhale, release the feet to the floor. And let's extend the legs, and let's offer a forward bend. As we inhale, let's roll up. We did a standing twist. Let's do one more twist as we move towards the end of our practice together. So let's bring the right knee up. And let's step the foot over your straight leg, sitting up nice and tall, trying to bring both knees on top of each other. You could also straighten the leg out so both knees are on top of each other. So you have options, knee high, knee low. You could always bend that bottom leg in as well, as long as both bottoms sit firmly on the ground. If you get here and you're way high, you're going to be cheating yourself out of a good twist. So you have options. We're going to twist to the right. So let's take this left arm and wrap it around. And let's take the right hand and bring it to the ground, sitting up nice and tall. And use your left hand to draw that knee over the top of the lower knee. And feel your navel sweep past your leg. Feel your heart sweep around. Feel your chin sweep around to look back behind you. Lengthening out the lower back and the legs. Don't stop breathing. And then with our next inhale, let's unwind. And let's unwind the legs. And exhale, forward bend. So let's inhale, roll it up. And let's offer this for the left side, bringing your left knee in, stepping the foot over, deciding if you want to have that knee high or low. Either side works. And let's reach the right arm over and press against the outside of that leg, left hand behind. Sit up nice and tall so your spine is long. And then as we exhale, begin at the base of the spine and feel some movement. And then the mid-back, and your shoulder blades, and into your neck and your head. And you may feel one part of your spine moves easier than another, and that's fine. So one more exhale, and then as we inhale, let's unwind navel, heart, shoulders, and head. And then let's unwind our legs. So from here, let's come down onto the mat and we'll set up for deep relaxation. Bending your knees, making sure that there are no props in the way as we slowly roll down and bring the knees into the chest and give them a hug. And maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. And if you have movements that you would like to add here, very gentle, low movements that will help you prepare to relax, you're invited to do it. And then once you've got your movements all worked out, we'll pass through partial recline to your relaxation pose of choice. Shrugging the shoulders, letting the arms rest, and the feet could stay bent, or the knees could stay bent. They could drop inward, they could drop outward, they could extend along the floor. You always have options, and you want to choose the most relaxable shape for today. Let your eyes relax. Let the mind's attention draw down into the body, feeling the breath flow out and in. Notice how your body rests into the ground. Your whole body can relax into the stability of the earth. You can stay in deep relaxation as long as you choose. I'm going to thank you now for playing with me today. And I hope to see you sometime again online or maybe in person at the YMCA of Central Kentucky. Thank you very much, and namaste.